Broadway Pixels here, bringing you back today with another video. And today we're going to be talking about the new TTR sort of silly summer update. So when I saw this update, I was like, is this like a late April Fool's joke? And then I actually looked more into it and physically saw, and I was like, oh, that actually happened. But I guess their main focus was they wanted to kind of add a new sort of party game, which is nice and all. And some other things like, you know, this whole kind of meme that's just pretty much going on here.
Dad, when do we get to the ride?
This is the ride! Yippee!
It's an actual thing. I guess... I don't know. I think it's very basic. I think it's, I don't know, I guess it's Toontown. I guess I have to keep that in mind where, you know, it's supposed to be like loony. I don't know. It's been a while. And, oh, there's another one over here. But I think what kind of really motivated me to make another Toontown video, because it's been some time, is I watched Space Jam last night, the new one, and I don't know, I was just like, wait, oh my god, dude, I remember the Space Jam movie, and then to see the new one. See, I know there's a lot of mixed reviews about it. I won't get too much into it because I know it's a Toontown video, which Looney Tunes, whatever. But I do have to say, I did definitely like how they did it so more advanced to where the people are like realistic into it, and then they ran other like kind of fan favorites in there. Back on topic here, the new TTR update, they added the benches. Other than that, I think it was about the estates and a few other minor things. I think it was like some tweaks to like the racing, something about that you can teleport in DA offices, and I think there's like some just major tweaks, but the main thing was sitting on benches, and then of course the tweaks to the cupcake house, which actually finally came into my catalog. Last time I checked on this was 2 weeks ago. Wasn't in there, and see, I guess they added this kind of like nightlight effect, which I personally think is kind of cool. You know, it's definitely like a nice little feature that they added to it. And originally, from what the post was, it was just supposed to be the cupcake house, but I looked at these, so I'm like, wait, they actually look pretty dope. I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess they actually added that to those as well. I guess, see, I feel like this update and the last update, they could have kind of just been merged, because TTR has always been known to, when they release things, they release kind of like a whole set of updates. They don't update often, but when they do, they're like ready. But they've been doing like things kind of like pretty quickly, and I think they're just little bit amounts. I know a little bit can go a long way, but I just personally think that some of these updates are just kind of doing to just kind of let people know, like, hey, we're still here, we're still updating, we want to kind of provide that, because I know people like constant updates, but at the same time, you don't want to like lead a horse to water and then there's no water there. Like you want to make sure that everything's, you know, in tip-top shape. And when you release these things, it's just like, I mean, this is my personal opinion. Every person's gonna have their different opinions. My personal opinion, they should have just had like how they used to be when, yeah, it's been a while since they updated, but when they did that update, it was like, wow, okay, here's a bunch of stuff that came. Like, example, when the deers and crocodiles came, that was like a big friggin' update. And then I know these field offices, that's gonna be a big update. You know, and then like the whole like options page, that was a sort of a big update. There's definitely some things here that I like I said, I have nothing against TTR, and I will always, you know, support my childhood favorite game, which of course, you know, TTR kind of took over that and just made it to where, you know, Toontown is still a thing, but in rewritten form. And I know other servers have as well, including even my previously worked on Universal. However, I just personally kind of think their updates, when they were doing them in smaller amounts of time, but bigger sort of things, I think it's just more of a hype. When people see certain things like this, like, oh, you could sit on a bench. I mean, that's a really cool feature, sure, but it's kind of like one of those things that where it's like, oh, that's nice, and then it just brushes away to the side. It's not like when Bullet Spot HQ, you know, first came out, the hype for that was unbelievable. Same thing when Toonfest first came out. Stuff like that, just like people just love. And I know when field offices come out, that is going to be something that's going to spike up the population, and people are going to be playing it like crazy. But unfortunately, it will probably eventually die down, and it'll just be kind of, I don't know. I think the updates that they're doing is nice and all, but I kind of think they're just using a lot of like unused ideas from Toontown and similar ideas from other servers, which, okay, I understand. It could be like social media, and where Facebook copies off Instagram, Twitter, and just vice versa. It just, you know the whole deal. They always get their ideas, tweak them, and just call it a day. But I think with TTR, it's just I kind of think there's just more great potential with it. I know it's Toontown and you can only do so much. The ideas, sure, they might seem endless.
Where the city limits are as wide as your imagination.
I just think, TTR might be rushing kind of updates. I mean, again, this is my opinion. I know everyone's going to be like, oh, well, I love constant updates. I'm not going to argue about that. Keep them coming. And that's perfectly fine. That's your personal opinion towards that. But my personal opinion is I think they should just kind of just take their more time with updates and just release them in their big amounts of updates when they do. Because I think it just excites more people. People are playing. They're just waiting for the update. And as soon as it comes out, people are just like, oh my god. But as far as these, it's like releasing these estate things out of nowhere, releasing the benching kind of thing out of nowhere, and that's what they usually do, is release updates out of nowhere. But I think they're happening a little bit too quickly. Like, I think the estates thing, I think the bench thing, the party game, and all that, I think they could have been just all into like kind of one update. Or even like when they did the whole new trolley game, they could have added the party thing and just kind of made it all into like one merge sort of update. You know what I mean? It's just, I just personally think, like, while the ideas they have are great and all, I just think that their updates are kind of getting a little bit too ahead of themselves. And I don't know. I like I said, I have nothing against TTR, and all I'm doing this is just to kind of criticize what I think. And of course, my opinions at the end of the day are my opinions. It's not something that should be like, oh my god, Broadway, your opinion obviously doesn't matter, because I'm not saying my opinion should matter or not. I'm just saying my personal kind of thought on that. But anyways, I definitely like the ideas that they are doing. I just kind of think that, they should be kind of just more, I don't know, taking their time. But again, like I said, I love the kind of like the cupcake house. I think that's awesome. I do think that's an unused kind of Toontown feature, but TTR still kind of does it to this day, and I love that for that. But is like, for example, okay, when Boss Bud HQ was released, instead of them releasing Boss Bud HQ, they completely like redid it. It's almost, and I say key almost like a new Cog HQ. Not really, but it almost is. It's just features like they released in little bits of time. They always try to tweak something about it to make it seem different, so it's not like Toontown Online and it's exactly duplicate. Of course, Toontown in general is just going to be Toontown, like your typical cat, dog, and all that, unless Corporate Clash, which kind of changes that, which I kind of think of Corporate Clash more of a Toontown 2.0 sort of thing, where it's almost like when people were trying to make Toontown in Unity. Like, I think it was just kind of like almost like the Toontown prototype that Loopy kind of showcased. That is kind of what I almost think of Corporate Clash. It's just completely different. And it's like the whole Silly Meter update, for example. When they released that, they changed it. Like, obviously the Silly Meter in Toontown Online didn't have like silly teams and different things like that. I think it was just really cool when they added that. But anyways, I just, those are kind of the new things that they added. And that's kind of the basics about it is they added that. And I think they added where it's like a 5-minute thing with like bosses. Where like if you're in a boss, if you time out or something, I think you could still get the reward, which is kind of nice, especially with people disconnecting and whatnot. Just think there was definitely some more that could have been, into it, like fixing some important bugs. That's a different story. That's not really a feature. That's just more of fixing like maintenance / just improving the things that are going wrong in the game. I just, like I said, I'm here to make these videos to try to showcase my sort of views on it, and whenever I can make time, because I know if you guys didn't hear my last few amount of videos, I just don't have as much time as I can, to the point where I had to leave my job at Universal. However, I just, like I said, I have high hopes for this server. I have high hopes for all the servers, because I know all the servers are trying to showcase and live on the Toontown community. And I, like I said, I've played Toontown since I was little, and I just love Toontown, and Toontown will always be a thing in my heart. But yeah, guys, no, that was about it. If you do like my video, obviously appreciate any feedback. I usually don't ask for that, but Hey, why not, right? Once in a blue moon. But yeah, no, that was about it, guys. If you have any other questions, or if you have any other feedback, or if something maybe they added that I completely forgot about, let me know. And yeah, guys, I hope you're all staying safe out there, because this whole second pandemic protocol thing's going on. But yeah, no, until next time, everybody, have a good one and stay safe out there. And for now, stay tuney.